Hey guys, gonna make this a really quick one, and it's gonna be about low light number 86. I am the crusty old crow. This is the Tactical Perspective Toy Review, and this is all about low light, a figure I had as a kid, but my mom's friend's kid took the file card and chucked it out the window before I could get it home, clip it, save that UPC, have a look at what else was in that release, and read my file card. So this guy, Cooper McBride, dudes, we gotta talk about Coop. Coop's got a lot to talk about, but it's all on the figure. A really quick review of the box. That's the box on the front. What's on the back? That's the back. You guys have seen all this before. Do we need to get into it? We don't need to get into it. Let's get into the figure. That's how that comes. Detained in plastic, right there. Here's his kit. Okay, moving over. Guys, it's low light. Gotta love it. Look right away. Okay, although I had the hand popped, this is my second take because I had a very infuriating thing. I had a very good video going, and then when I moved the rifle, the sight popped off because it's a separate piece. Guys, this rifle is incredible. It's a great little piece of kit. This is something I associate more with a premium kit, not a standard release. Again, in Canada, $35.99 is our standard release price for these things. And $60 and up are our premiums. And the way this rifle came is something I would have expected in a premium set. But I wanted to show you this figure right away, how it is posed, because this is Hasbro saying, we hear you. Okay, one of the biggest complaints that people had was with Spirit's great figure. However, the rifle couldn't be positioned convincingly in his shoulder to give him the proper eye relief to look down the sight. The scope was set way too far back, I think, and therefore it always looked like Spirit was looking over his rifle sights when he should be looking through. So Hasbro fixed that with low light, and they gave him that more articulate neck swivel, which allowed his head to get down further, and they gave us a sight with considered eye relief between where the head was going to be placed and where the sight should begin. So excellent job there with Hasbro. Guys, as per usual, I am going to do the inspection from head to toe, military style, point out the highlights and the lowlights, I guess we'll call it this time around, and go over his kit a little bit, and then we'll give it a playability grade, tactical grade, whatever grade I feel like pulling out my arse that day, and then we'll go from there. So let's move into the head to toe, guys, because the head is one of the things I really wanted to focus on right off the bat. So in order to do so, I'm going to carefully lower his rifle because it is multi-parts. And I am going to face the camera. This is Cooper McBride. Cooper McBride became low light after a very traumatic experience. And the file card, you know, that thing that got chucked out the window I never had, but I've read online since. The file card's an interesting thing. If you got the low light before, like the original low light, as you see him, he was from Crosby, North Dakota. If you got the low light for the Sergeant Slaughter's Marauders, he was from Crosby, New Mexico. Thing is, there is no Crosby, New Mexico. I Googled it. There's Crosby Springs. So it's a misprint, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm Canadian. Anyways, just a little detail there. But on the file card, you read the story about a kid who goes out hunting with his dad and then somehow gets lost, right? And then he doesn't get found for 3 weeks. But when they find him, he's got his rifle and his flashlight. He's grinning ear to ear. This is basically the synopsis of the card. And then it mentions that and then says that he later joins the army and becomes a marksmanship instructor. Okay, here's the thing, guys. What the actual F? That is some trauma going on there. Dude goes out hunting with his dad. That dad, quote unquote, somehow loses him, right?
No. This wasn't a passage between father and son to have my son become a man and let him hunt his way out of the wilderness or anything like that. I think what happened is his dad just let his boy think he was on his own and was skirting him for a while and then lost track of him. The kid didn't hit a certain waypoint at a certain time, and now the dad had to explain to people what he was doing, and it didn't work. And now his kid's missing for 3 freaking weeks. Okay, but when they find this kid, we have to make a big deal about how he's got his 22. He's got probably no ammo for that 22 at this point. He's got a flashlight, which has probably been dead on batteries for quite a while. And he's grinning ear to ear. No shit. He's just been rescued. Of course he's grinning ear to ear. Do you have a psychologist on standby? Because this is what he grew up into right here, guys. You telling me that didn't affect him? Look at this Joe face. That is not your normal Joe face. This is a Joe face with a dark side, and I love it. Okay, and I think it's been expressed in the cartoons, probably. How, he looks like a night owl, kind of baggy-eyed and red-eyed and whatnot, and they successfully did this. But to me, this is a guy that he's probably a drinker, not much for sleeper, probably got some nightmares. Who knows? Not your most mentally stable Joe, if you're asking me, which is why I love him so. So yeah, head to toe, that head multi-point articulation with the neck, so you can get some really good head swivel on there. We'll just take the goggles, and because I don't want them to fall off, and we'll put them back over the end so you can't see the eyes of truth anymore. And then I'm not going to waste much time talking about articulation. Just like normal, you guys know all the articulation, the butterfly joints, everything. This is very good figure articulation. You can do a lot of posing with this. What I will talk about is a couple of accessories he comes with before I get into that highfalutin sniper rifle. So we'll talk about his little knife. Let's get that. I did find with the molds for the knife and for his piece of tech, they were a bit tight. Like the mold was more compressed than it meant to be, or maybe they vacuumed a bit and on cooling. I found these a bit hard to push in, but harder than, say, the average Joe. So you got your typical survival knife, hunting knife there, whatever. Got it in the back, and we'll put that back in that hard sheath, and that was his sidearm. Thankfully, the sidearm fell. That's easy enough to spot. The last time I attempted the video, it was the sight for the rifle, and that's not so much. You can see this sidearm was sitting on that post. We've seen that style. I'm not a big fan of it. Putting the trigger mech into a post just for play convenience is a bad lesson. But he's got a very, I'm not sure if that's SNES or whatever variant, or Heckler & Koch variant, or whatever Joe variant of this, but I love it. It's the auto pistol design with the inward feeding. I think it's a 9mm probably round mag. It looks like an extended mag, which is fantastic. Love that. Really cool little gun. I just am not a big fan of these grips right here, just because I find them hard to manipulate in these superior Joe hands. While there is flexibility in the hands, it does feel like you're forcing stuff a little more than you want to with some of the hand-based accessories. Okay. I am still at the theory part of some of this, guys. As I've mentioned, I was a reconnaissance soldier for a number of years, and not an infantier. And this guy is an infantry figure. He's based off of an infantry sniper with maybe a police SWAT feel, clearly. Just in the fact that he's got the gray fatigue kind of jumpsuit thing going. But I wanted to talk about this particular piece of tech right here on the side and give you my theory on what I suspect this is. And then I know I've got some more military friends in our subscription base that are watching these videos. And if I pull up a piece of kit, a weapon, or a theory that you guys have some thoughts on or know better than I, please absolutely correct my ass in the comments. I don't mind. I ain't got no ego here. It's an interest. It's fun, right? So this, I think, is his wind measurement instrument. It probably tells him the barometric pressure, humidity of the air, and the wind direction and all that. And the reason I say that is a piece of kit that a sniper would want. There's a lot of things that'll affect your shot at great distances, and the earth is one of them. And all the things the earth puts into it can affect the trajectory, and what affects just the slightest millimeter here can affect up to inches and feet later, so further down the range. So he would definitely want to have one of those. And the reason I was really happy to see that is because with the sniper figures for G.I. Joe, I know we got Jodie Shooter, what is it, McCraig or whatever, I'm not sure what her name, Shooter, we got her coming, and she's going to be a sniper too. And then we kind of had a sniper a little bit in spirit, I think. But what I'm trying to get at is, guys, I am not a big fan of snipers working alone. Snipers work better. Sorry, this is an opinion based off of talking a little bit outside my arcs of it, a different trade. But snipers work highly functional in pairs. One's a spotter, one's a shooter. You guys seen it in movies. You guys know about it if you know about the military. One guy's reading all the data and the other guy's getting the shot, right? So I thought if you're not going to make this a two-figure problem with snipers in your Joe military, because who cares if it's real or not? It's still fun. I thought this was a good ad. So really cool. And that fits nicely. Well, I shouldn't say nicely. It fits in there. There you go. Much like CoverGirl's data pad, and just like CoverGirl's data pad and holster, this shifts around. The padding, you got a two-tone gray here thing going, and you've got some red going, just like with the original. Talking about this chest harness, I like that they stayed away from doing a second piece chest rig with this guy, because he had a very simple simple uniform, but they did throw on kind of the strap to explain how he can carry a backpack or a rifle bag, which I did like that. And I've talked about that in my review of Bazooka and his magic backpack. I'm glad that they didn't make that mistake too often with too many characters. However, what I do have a problem with is this is a one-piece chest example, which means he's got great articulation, great, just fantastic, as you would expect. What I found was that, maybe it's just a problem with mine, look at the gap in the post between my backpack and his back post. And I have tried to manipulate this in a number of ways. You can get it back in, but it's almost like the post on the backpack is widening in its diameter as it gets closer to the pack, or they haven't made that hole wide enough. Not sure what it is, but it's the first time I've ever really had this kind of backpack separation showing on a Joe that didn't have a second torso layer to him. For example, say Gung Ho or here's another example of somebody who's wearing like a second chest. Flint's a prime example of that. Okay, so the backpack itself is it's a beautiful modeled modern military style backpack. If you guys are looking at these and you're wondering, well, what are those molded? And you probably aren't, but if you are, okay, all these little squares here, these are all eyelets for him to slip extra kit into, right? So all it needs is a little hook on the back, and he can feed, or he can Velcro strap extra pouches and all sorts of stuff. And he's got that loaded for spades all over his kit, and that's great. I love the detail on the backpack. It's very, very reminiscent of what I've seen in my experience. And there goes that sight again. I'm gonna have to talk about this rifle soon, because then I'm gonna put it away. I'm not gluing this down. Second voice in my head. Quiet, you. I know it's backward. Third voice. Okay. There we go. The other thing I like about what they do with these backpack guys is just it's a detail-oriented thing. Like, the old backpacks were so smooth and rounded and bulbous, and they looked like backpack shapes and had some little backpack details. But what they lacked was some imaginative slack details. And if you can see all these ridges and you can see the amount of slack in his bag, it shows that he can pack more, or, he didn't fill it all the way. And I love that detail, because that tells me he's moving a little bit lighter if his bag were swelled out, and we should use perhaps, let's use Tunnel Rats, seeing as he was up recently. If his bag was swelled out to the brims or even bigger, just a start, then we would have an issue. Oh, just stand there, stalker. Who cares? Go to sleep. Go to sleep standing. Then he would be heavily weighed down, right? And he wouldn't be as maneuverable. And the thing is, Lowlight's a sniper. And so a sniper's not going to sit, well, I mean, pardon me, a sniper's absolutely going to sit for long periods of times in one spot until he gets the shot that he wants. But a sniper like Lowlight is expected to not just take one shot and leave. He's expected to stay on the battlefield and move from position to position and take several shots. And you want to be able to move quiet and light like that. So his backpack's a good size for that. I just wish the peg had fit better. Okay, let's talk about this sniper rifle. I am not a sniper, guys. I would never, what's it called? Steal the valor of that title. That's an earned title, and that's not me. But this is as snipery as you are gonna get for a Joe figure. I love this hard case. Like, I'm gonna look at this for a minute, so you can see it's a fabric case with those canvas canvas straps on it, right? The peg, the back peg, I did do it. It actually fits on his back better than the damn backpack. But what I don't understand is this secondary peg. It's like it's asking me to fit the backpack back on there. And it doesn't work out well that way. The other thing I think it might be asking me, but it didn't, was to use the gun post that people put the rifle on to try and do this with it. But that didn't work. But thankfully, it's got that beautiful carry handle, which works every damn time you carry it. And some nice pouches on the front for the extra stuff. You got those extra eyelets for more pouches, or slide some stuff in there if you wanted to. And then, you know, cleaning kit, accessory bag, extra barrels, some extra mags, who knows, repair kits. Who knows what all he can keep in there, but he can keep a lot, right? So when you buy this guy, this rifle comes broken down and in here already. You can see that he's got a couple of extra mags here. It would have been nice if they had painted those with just that modest black that they were already using on some other stuff. But they didn't paint any of the accessories except the knife, giving it that silver. So it's forgivable. I imagine we could pop these plates out and repurpose this bag if I needed to. I don't know to why I would do that, but it seems like you could. Nonetheless, everything's broken down. So this sight that was falling and forced me to reshoot the video came in there. The silencer, which is a complete new silencer, very, very thick, and it's got the ventilation through it. Very cool looking silencer. That goes in there. And you notice the muzzle on this one. This is a 50 cal. Okay, 50 cal sniper rifle, because look at that thick ass muzzle, and there's that drum mag. I think it's meant to represent a 50 cal. If it were a real 50 cal, that mag would be much bigger. But it's got that high velocity flash, I would say flash suppressor, but the end, right? So very cool looking sniper rifle, and that's about all you take off besides the bipod, and you put it in here. The mag does come out, but they didn't put a different holding for the mag. They just represented that he carries 3 in the case. And then you just pop that in there, close it up, and he is portable. And he's got his little submachine gun for the rest of it, which is difficult to put in the hand, so I'm dropping it. All right, that is your low light. Guys, one thing I really liked about, and I'm going to leave the case open so you can just see that again. One of the things I really liked about this case, but it's a conundrum for detailing for me. I have an issue with large caliber weapons that don't come with spare barrels, right? So I can let it go in the sniper rifle, but for the heavy machine gunners, like what Tunnel Rat's machine gun and Rock and Roll's machine gun, I would really I would really smile if I ever saw them incorporate the detail somewhere in the molding on a pack or something that the guy's carrying a spare barrel. Barrels burn out through sustained fire, and Joes are there to fight for a long time. So spare barrels all the way. I would have liked to have seen an extra type of barrel over here or something like that. But I just want to talk about component weapons. We saw this with the AK-47 that came with Sergeant Slaughter, and how his forward maglite attachment it was a separate piece as well as the mag, and it pops off from time to time. And I'm telling you guys, this sight pops off from time to time, so you just want to be aware. Anytime you pick up your low light, your eyes should be focused on what that sight's doing, okay? Because once it drops, it's tiny enough, it can go a lot of places, and because it's long, it can bounce weird like mine did earlier. But overall, I really loved having this in the set, the way that they did this. And this is probably one of my more favorite features, if it is what I think it is. Yeah, you got frag grenades, and I'm sure on the box, let's have a look. Did they draw your attention to the frag grenades? Oh my God, on the box, they wanted you to know he had a frag grenade on his chest. That's all fine and good, but give me some practical use, good stuff. I'm not going to talk about the boots or any of the stuff that I might have talked about on other figures, because he comes with some very interesting kit and some personality, which Joe is now getting into legendary status for when they make their figures. You get guys talking about Chuckles and the debate whether he's a good figure or not, or Falcone in his face. Guys, ladies, if there's any watching, just be happy we have such diversity in these faces. And it's not like 82, 83, where they all look like mannequins with weapons. Okay, we are getting some amazing work over here. So, low light, no. Highlight, 100%. Overall, playability grade, I'm going to give him an A-. And the only minus is that backpack issue I'm having with him. And I would slide in the multi-part weapons, the small pieces that can get lost, I think detracts a little bit from the playability of these things. It lends to a sense of paranoia that you might damage the post, or that you might lose a sight somewhere. That's my initial feel of it. I'm not worried about losing that knife and that barometer or whatever it is there. Those things are sealed in really well. So yeah, playability, I'm giving it an A-. Tactical, you know me. They did an excellent effort in making this look like the old low light. I keep saying he reminds me, I want to say like a Dallas police rooftop sniper kind of SWAT feel, but he is infantry. The rifle's great. Having a submachine gun included, guys, I should put an emphasis on this a little bit more. Sorry, not a submachine gun, an auto pistol. I wish we had a holster for it. I get why there's not one. You know, you got enough going on here. Maybe we could have tried to cram it in there, but then that's getting really cramped. The reason I like that is because a guy shouldn't just have to rely on his long-barreled sniper rifle, which he's only carrying so many rounds, right? And then be stuck knife fighting after that. He needs an intermediary weapon. So that auto pistol's a good one. He can get himself out of trouble if his position ever compromised and he had to make a break, and get out of that position. He could do that with that weapon, and I appreciate that when they threw that in there. So tactically, I'm going to go with a solid A+ on this guy. I am very, very happy with low light. You'll be happy with low light when you get them. I'm sure you're happy now because you already have them, because up here in Canada, we get them quite a few weeks behind the Americans and pretty much the rest of the free friggin' world. But anyways, guys, that's it for today for videos. I'm going to give you a little glimpse of something I'm working on that I'm hoping is going to come to fruition. We're in the drawing process right now, and I'm not even going to say what it is until the next video. We'll leave it as a mystery, but I should be doing a video on it in the next couple of weeks. I've got all the main pieces ready to be slapped together, but one of my videos very soon is going to be about this kerfuffle over here. And we'll just leave that as the hint you needed. All right, guys, I've been the crusty old crow, Ryan. This has been the Tactical Perspective Toy Review. If you like this video, hit like. If you really liked it, why? But hit subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next video whenever I pick up another Joe or get that thing done. Talk to you soon. Bye.